Jack stepped onto the soft ground of Iridia, his boots sinking slightly into the lush purple grass. The planet looked so different from Earth, yet it had a strange kind of beauty. He adjusted his space helmet and took a deep breath. Even through the suit's filters, he sensed a fresh, sweet scent in the air. It was comforting and made him curious about what lay ahead. Other astronauts moved around nearby, unpacking gear and setting up base camp. Jack watched them for a moment, but he couldn't help himself. His eyes wandered, studying the landscape. He had always dreamed about exploring new worlds, and now that dream was real. As he walked away from the shuttle, he noticed movement near some tall blue trees. Jack paused, his heart beating faster. He wasn't afraid, but he felt excitement. Slowly, from behind the trees, an alien stepped forward. She was unlike anything he had seen before. Her skin was a pale silvery blue, and she had long flowing hair that shimmered like liquid crystal. Her eyes, large and bright green, stared at him with equal curiosity. She took a few careful steps closer, and Jack did the same. They stopped a safe distance apart, both cautious yet eager to know more. The alien tilted her head slightly, looking deeply at Jack. "Why are you looking at me like that, human?" she asked softly, her voice gentle and smooth. Jack felt heat rush to his cheeks. "I didn't mean to stare," he said quickly, feeling awkward. "It's just ... Your eyes remind me of something beautiful from my home." She blinked slowly, processing his words. "What do you mean?" Jack took a breath, trying to steady his nerves. "Your eyes are like the oceans on Earth, deep, peaceful, and very beautiful." The alien woman seemed to relax at his words, her tense posture softening. "My name is Lyra," she said. "You are the first human I've spoken to." Jack smiled warmly. "I'm Jack. You're also the first alien I've talked to." Lyra stepped a little closer, her movements graceful and calm. Jack felt his heartbeat slow, becoming comfortable in her presence. She pointed at the gear behind him. "You came with others?" "Yes," Jack replied. "We are here to learn about your planet and your people, to build friendship and trust." Lyra nodded thoughtfully. "Friendship is good," she said, her eyes sparkling. "I am curious about humans too." Jack felt a sudden eagerness. "Maybe we can learn from each other." Lyra agreed with a soft smile. "Yes, Jack, that would be nice." They began to walk together slowly, Lyra guiding Jack toward the blue trees. "Tell me about Earth," she asked gently. Jack thought carefully, choosing his words. "Earth is beautiful, but different from here. We have oceans filled with water, forests with green trees, and mountains covered in snow." Lyra listened intently, her eyes wide with fascination. "Water covers your planet?" "Most of it," Jack explained. "It's why your eyes remind me of home. The colors just like our oceans." Lyra glanced at Jack, her expression curious. "Your emotions feel strong. Do all humans feel this deeply?" Jack stopped walking, surprised. "You can feel my emotions?" She smiled gently. "My people, the Solari, can sense feelings. It is normal for us." Jack considered this carefully. "That must make things easier." "Sometimes," Lyra agreed. "But it can also be difficult when many emotions are felt at once." Jack nodded slowly. "Humans feel many things at once, too. Sometimes it gets confusing." "Then we have something in common," Lyra said softly, her smile growing warmer. They reached a clearing surrounded by blue trees. Flowers of every color bloomed around them, and small glowing insects floated lazily in the air. Lyra gently touched the flower, making its petals open wider. Jack watched in wonder. "Your planet is amazing," he whispered. "It is my home," Lyra said softly, "but seeing it through your eyes makes me see it differently." Jack glanced at her, surprised. "Really? How?" Lyra hesitated, her fingers tracing the flower petals gently. "You see beauty clearly. Many Solari forget to appreciate the beauty around us." Jack smiled warmly. "Maybe we all do that sometimes." Lyra nodded, her eyes thoughtful. Perhaps, but your view helps me remember. Jack felt a sense of joy at her words. He had come to Viridia expecting many things, but he never thought an alien would find value in how he saw the world. I'm glad we met, Lyra, he said sincerely. Me too, Jack, she replied softly. I did not expect friendship so soon. They sat on the soft purple grass, comfortable in the peaceful silence. Jack watched as Lyra's hair reflected the light, mesmerizing him. He noticed her gently touching the flowers, her eyes soft with happiness. Do humans have many friends? Lyra asked. Suddenly, Jack considered this carefully. Yes, we try. Friendship is important to us. It makes life better. Lyra smiled. Then your people must be wise. Friendship keeps my people strong as well. Jack felt proud, realizing how much humans and Solari had in common. Maybe our friendship can help our people become even stronger together. Lyra's bright eyes looked directly into Jack's, serious yet hopeful. I believe it can, Jack. Our friendship is just the beginning. Jack nodded, feeling excitement build within him. Together, they were starting something special, something bigger than themselves. He looked again into Lyra's deep, ocean-like eyes, realizing he was ready for whatever adventure awaited them. Viridia was more than just another planet. It was the place where two worlds would meet, learn, and perhaps even thrive together. Lyra gently touched his hand, and Jack knew this moment marked the start of something wonderful. Together, beneath the glowing insects and surrounded by colorful blooms, they shared a quiet promise of friendship, trust, and discovery. Jack woke up early the next morning, his thoughts filled with excitement about meeting Lyra again. Sunlight filtered through the tent, casting a soft glow around him. Quickly, he dressed and stepped outside, breathing in the fresh air of Viridia. His fellow astronauts were busy preparing for their day's work, talking quietly among themselves. Jack grabbed a small breakfast, eating fast. He couldn't wait to explore more with Lyra. Just as he finished, he saw her approaching from the tree. Lying. Her silvery blue skin seemed to shimmer in the morning sunlight, and her bright green eyes found his immediately. Good morning, Jack, Lyra said gently, smiling warmly as she came near. Morning, Lyra, Jack replied, feeling his heart race slightly. Did you rest well? Yes, she said softly, looking around the human camp with interest. Your people work quickly. We like staying busy, Jack explained. It helps keep us calm when we're in a new place. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. Would you like to visit my village today? Jack's eyes lit up. Yes, please. I'd love to see where you live. Lyra smiled again, clearly pleased. She turned, and Jack followed her away from the camp. As they walked, she pointed out many beautiful things. Strange flowers, small creatures with bright feathers, and trees with glowing leaves. This world never stops amazing me, Jack admitted, looking around in wonder. I'm glad you like. Viridia, Lyra replied gently. It means much to me. Soon, they reached a large clearing. Many homes were built among the trees, blending naturally into the environment. Solari moved calmly around, doing daily tasks and talking quietly. They looked curious when they saw Jack, their large eyes watching him closely. Everyone is peaceful here, Jack said softly. Peace is important to my people, Lyra explained. We live close to nature and try to keep balance in everything. Jack followed Lyra to a small house. Inside, it was simple but warm, decorated with plants and gentle colors. She showed him around, proudly explaining small details about her home and life. Do you have family here? Jack asked gently. My parents live nearby, Lyra replied. We care deeply for each other, but Solari also value independence. Jack nodded, understanding her words. Humans are the same. Family matters, but so does finding your own way. Lyra's eyes brightened. Again, we have something in common. Jack smiled warmly, feeling their bond grow stronger. Later, Lyra introduced Jack to other Solari. They were shy but welcoming, asking him questions about Earth and humans. Jack answered carefully, doing his best to explain his home clearly as they talked. Jack noticed Lyra watching him closely, her green eyes, studying his expressions and reactions. When they finally left the gathering, he felt curious. "Lyra, can I ask something?" Jack began softly. "Of course," she said, walking beside him slowly. "You've been watching me closely all day. Is everything okay?" Lyra hesitated, looking away briefly. Then she met his eyes directly. "I am studying your emotions, Jack. Humans are fascinating. You feel deeply, and your feelings change quickly." Jack smiled slightly. "Is that good or bad?" "Neither," Lyra said. Gently, "It's simply different. Solari feels strongly, but we sense emotions clearly. Humans seem more complicated." Jack laughed softly. "We definitely are complicated. Even I don't always understand my feelings." Lyra smiled warmly. "It makes you interesting. I like trying to understand you." They walked quietly for a while, enjoying the peaceful surroundings. Eventually, they reached a small pond with clear, sparkling water. They sat beside it, watching tiny creatures swim beneath the surface. Jack glanced at Lyra, curious again. "Can Solari emotions affect humans?" Lyra thought carefully. "I'm not sure. We can sense and influence each other easily, but humans might be different." Jack nodded thoughtfully. "Sometimes when you look at me, I feel something special, like a strong connection." Lyra turned to face him fully, her expression serious yet gentle. "I feel it too, Jack. Perhaps humans and Solari have a natural bond." Jack felt warmth spread through him at her words. "I'd like to believe that." Lyra smiled softly. "Me too. Our friendship already feels strong." Jack reached out, gently touching her hand. Lyra looked down in surprise, but did not move away. She placed her hand carefully over his, her fingers cool and gentle. Their eyes met, the silence between them filled with understanding. Jack felt his heartbeat slow, a calm and peaceful feeling washing over him. Being with Lyra felt natural and comfortable, like finding something he hadn't realized was missing. "Maybe our people were meant to meet," Jack said softly, his voice barely above a whisper. "Perhaps," Lyra agreed quietly, her green eyes shining brightly. "Together, we might learn more than we ever could alone." Jack nodded, smiling warmly. "Exactly." They stayed quietly by the pond for a long time, simply enjoying each other's company. Neither felt the need to speak more, content in the peaceful moment. Eventually, the sun began to set, painting the sky with vivid colors. "We should head back," Lyra finally said gently. "Your people might worry." Jack nodded slowly, standing up and stretching slightly. "You're right, but today was amazing." "It was special for me too," Lyra replied warmly. "Thank you for coming to see my home." "Thank you for showing me," Jack said, feeling deeply grateful. They walked slowly back towards the human camp, the peaceful silence between them comfortable and familiar. As they reached the edge of the camp, Jack turned to Lyra again. "Can we see each other again tomorrow?" he asked hopefully. Lyra smiled warmly, her eyes gentle. "Of course, Jack. I would like that very much." Jack felt joy fill him again. He watched Lyra as she turned to leave, her silvery blue form disappearing slowly into the shadows of the trees as Jack returned to his tent. His heart was light and full of hope. Meeting Lyra had changed everything. Their growing friendship was something he deeply valued. Lying down that night, he felt excited about the future. Jack knew many adventures awaited him on Viridia, but nothing seemed as important as the connection he shared with Lyra. Together, they would discover new things, overcome challenges, and build something wonderful between their two worlds. Closing his eyes, he smiled, knowing tomorrow would bring more joy, curiosity, and friendship with Lyra. Jack woke early again, feeling eager for another day on Viridia. He stepped outside his tent, smiling as the morning sun warmed his face. The camp was busy, astronauts working diligently to understand more about this beautiful planet. Jack waved to a few of them as he hurried to meet Lyra. He spied her near the edge of camp, her silvery blue skin glowing softly in the sunlight. Lyra smiled warmly when she saw him approaching, her bright green eyes shining. "Good morning, Jack, Lyra," greeted him gently. "Are you ready to explore today?" "Definitely," Jack replied with excitement. "What's our plan?" "Today," Lyra began softly, "we join a group exploring ancient ruins. It is important to Solari history, and I think you will enjoy seeing it." Jack felt his curiosity rise. "Sounds great! I'm ready." Together, they walked through lush forests filled with strange and wonderful plants. Lyra explained each one, sharing her knowledge with Jack. He listened closely, amazed at how much she knew about her home. Soon, they met the exploration team near some large rocks covered in vines. Other Solari greeted Jack kindly but remained shy, watching him carefully. "Are you sure humans can handle this journey?" A Solari named Senna asked gently, looking concerned. Lyra smiled warmly at Senna. "Jack is strong and brave. He will be fine." Senna nodded slowly, seeming reassured. The group began their journey through dense trees, the air filled with sounds of unknown creatures. Jack felt excitement grow with every step, eager to discover what lay ahead. Finally, they reached a hidden entrance to the ruins covered by thick plants. Together they cleared the vines and stepped inside carefully. It was dark, but the Solari lit small glowing stones that brightened the path. Inside, the ruins were incredible. Ancient walls carved with pictures showed scenes from Solari history. Lyra explained them quietly, her voice filled with respect. "These ruins tell the story of our people," she said softly. "It shows how we grew, faced dangers, and learned peace." Jack touched one carving gently, feeling awe. "Your people have amazing stories," Lyra smiled proudly. "Yes, and today you become part of our story." Jack felt honored by her words. As they moved deeper into the ruins, the air became cooler and damper. The pathway narrowed, and they had to walk carefully. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed around them. Jack looked up in alarm just as rocks began falling. Without thinking, he pushed Lyra forward, shielding her with his body. Dust filled the air, making it hard to see. When the noise stopped, Jack coughed and looked around. Everyone was safe but shaken. Lyra turned to Jack, eyes wide with worry. "Are you hurt, Jack?" she asked quickly. "I'm okay," Jack said, breathing deeply. "Are you?" Lyra nodded slowly, looking at him gratefully. "You saved my life." Jack felt warmth spread through him. "I couldn't let anything happen to you." Lyra took Jack's hand gently, holding it tightly. "Thank you." After checking that everyone else was fine, the group decided to rest and recover from the scare. Jack sat beside Lyra, feeling calm as she held his hand. They shared quiet words, comforting each other. When they returned to the village later, Lyra seemed thoughtful and quiet. Jack watched her closely, sensing something was bothering her. "Lyra, what's wrong?" Jack asked gently when they reached her home. She hesitated before answering. "Jack, I need to tell you something important." Jack listened carefully, sensing this was serious. "There is an old Solari prophecy," Lyra explained quietly. "It talks about our people and humans coming together. It says our bond could protect us from great danger." Jack's eyes widened with surprise. "You think we might be part of this prophecy?" "Yes," Lyra said softly. "When you saved me today, I felt our connection stronger than ever." Maybe this is what the prophecy meant. Jack considered her words, feeling uncertain but hopeful. "What do we do next?" Lyra looked into his eyes seriously. "We must find out more about this prophecy. It could help both our worlds." Jack nodded, slowly, understanding the importance. "I'm ready to help in any way I can." "Thank you, Jack," Lyra said warmly. "Tomorrow we will visit the archives. There we may find answers." That night, Jack lay awake in his tent, thoughts racing about the prophecy. He felt excited but also worried. He wondered if he and Lyra truly were the key to protecting their worlds. The next day, they traveled early to a special building filled with ancient writings. Inside, scrolls and books covered shelves from floor to ceiling. Lyra carefully took out several documents, spreading them on a table. These mention the prophecy, she explained, pointing to old writings. They speak of unity between humans and Solari. Jack leaned close, studying the text. It says here a great threat will come, and our unity will save us. Lyra nodded seriously. But many Solari doubt humans. Convincing them will be hard. Jack smiled warmly at her. Together, we can show them. Lyra smiled gently. Your courage gives me strength, Jack. Jack felt confident hearing her words. We will do whatever it takes. For hours they studied the ancient documents, learning more details. The prophecy warned clearly of a danger from the stars, but also promised hope if Solari and humans worked together. Jack realized how important their mission was. He turned to Lyra, feeling determination. We must talk to your leaders and mine. They have to understand. Lyra agreed softly. Yes, but first, we must show our people we can trust each other. Jack nodded, understanding the challenge. We will show them. Our friendship proves unity is possible. Lyra's eyes sparkled with hope. I believe in you, Jack. Together, we can change everything. Jack smiled warmly, feeling stronger with her support. He knew their bond was special, powerful enough to face whatever came. They returned to the village that evening, ready to start convincing others. Jack knew the path ahead would be difficult, but with Lyra beside him, he felt brave. Together, they would build trust, protect their worlds, and prove the power of unity. As Jack lay down to sleep that night, he felt a deep sense of purpose. He and Lyra had discovered something amazing, and their friendship had become more important than ever. Jack knew tomorrow would bring new challenges, but he was ready. With Lyra, he could face anything. Jack woke up feeling determined. He knew he and Lyra had important work to do today. After breakfast, he quickly made his way to the edge of the camp. Lyra was already waiting, looking thoughtful but calm. Good morning, Jack, she greeted. Softly, are you ready for this? Jack nodded firmly. Yes, Lyra. Together we can convince everyone. They walked toward the Solari Elders' meeting place. It was a large building made from natural materials, blending beautifully into the surroundings. Inside, elders sat quietly, talking softly among themselves. Their large eyes turned toward Jack and Lyra as they entered, showing both interest and doubt. One elder, an older Solari named Eldra, stood slowly. Why have you come today, Lyra? We must speak about the prophecy, Lyra began gently but confidently. Jack and I have learned its importance. Our unity could protect us all. Eldra looked serious. Many doubt humans. They think humans are too different from us. Jack stepped forward calmly. I understand your doubt, but our friendship proves humans and Solari can work together. The prophecy speaks clearly. Danger is coming, and we must be united. Lyra nodded, supporting Jack. Yesterday in the ruins, Jack saved my life. He risked himself without hesitation. This shows humans have courage and care deeply. The elders whispered among themselves, considering these words. Eldra finally spoke again. We appreciate your words, but we need more proof. Many Solari still fear humans. Jack felt disappointment, but he stayed calm. Then give us a chance to prove it. Let us show you humans and Solari can be friends and allies. After a long silence, Eldra nodded slowly. Very well. We shall give you the chance you seek. Prove to us your unity is strong. Jack and Lyra thanked the elders and left, feeling hopeful but knowing much work remained. They quickly traveled back to Jack's human camp. Commander Helen, the human leader, greeted them with surprise. Jack, is everything okay? Helen asked curiously. We need your help, Commander, Jack said urgently. Lyra and I discovered an old Solari prophecy. It warns of a coming threat, and unity between our people is crucial. Helen looked thoughtful, her eyes serious. "And how do we help?" "Show the Solari humans can be trusted," Jack explained. "Carefully. We must work together closely, proving unity is possible." Commander Helen agreed without hesitation. "Of course, Jack. We will do whatever we can." Jack and Lyra quickly organized activities to encourage humans and Solari to interact and learn about each other. They arranged shared meals, cooperative, CACs, and storytelling sessions. At first, things were awkward. Humans and Solari moved carefully around each other, unsure how to interact. Jack and Lyra worked hard, guiding conversations and showing everyone how friendship could grow. Slowly, Solari and humans began talking more comfortably. They shared stories of their homes and experiences, finding common interests and emotions. One evening, Jack and Lyra watched a group sitting together by a fire, laughing and smiling as they told stories. Lyra's eyes sparkled with happiness. "Look, Jack, it's working." Jack smiled warmly, feeling pride. "They see it now. Our people can become friends." Days passed, and friendships grew stronger. Solari and humans started working together naturally, sharing tasks and responsibilities without hesitation. Eldra and Commander Helen observed the growing unity closely, both pleased with the progress. One morning, Eldra called Jack and Lyra to the Elders' building again. When they arrived, Commander Helen was already there. Eldra stood slowly, looking serious but hopeful. "We have watched closely," Eldra began gently. "Your efforts have shown us unity is possible. Our people grow closer every day." Commander Helen nodded in agreement. "Our bond strengthens each day thanks to Jack and Lyra. Together, we will face whatever danger comes." Eldra smiled softly. "The prophecy spoke true. Your friendship has united our worlds. Now, we must prepare for whatever lies ahead." Jack felt relief and joy. He glanced at Lyra, seeing happiness in her bright green eyes. Their hard work had paid off, and their people were finally coming together. "We will continue to strengthen our bond," Jack promised earnestly. Lyra nodded. Firmly, "Our unity will protect us all." In the following days, humans and Solari began preparing together for any danger that might come. They trained side by side, shared knowledge, and supported each other. The unity between their people grew deeper and stronger, encouraged by Jack and Lyra's ongoing efforts. One evening, as they watched humans and Solari working together smoothly, Lyra turned to Jack with a thoughtful expression. "Jack," she said softly, "do you think this unity is truly enough to face the danger?" Jack took her hand gently, meeting her eyes with confidence. "I believe it is, Lyra. Our unity gives us strength we never had alone." Lyra smiled gently, reassured by his words. "Your courage always inspires me, Jack." Jack felt warmth fill him. "And your belief gives me hope." Together, they stood quietly, watching their people moving as one. Jack felt proud of what they had achieved. He knew the path ahead was still uncertain, but with Lyra and the unity of their people, he was confident they could overcome anything as days turned to weeks. The bond between Solari and humans became stronger than ever. Eldra and Commander Helen praised Jack and Lyra openly, grateful for their leadership and vision. Everyone knew the prophecy was true, and unity was the key to their future. One afternoon, Jack and Lyra took a quiet walk, enjoying the peaceful surroundings of Iridia. They stopped near the pond where they had first spoken of their connection. "It feels like a lifetime ago," Jack said softly, smiling at the memory. Lyra nodded gently. "So much has changed since then, but our bond only grows stronger." Jack replied warmly. "Yes," Lyra agreed softly. "And it always will." Jack looked deeply into Lyra's eyes, seeing warmth and trust reflected clearly. "No matter what comes, I will always stand by you, Lyra." Lyra took his hand gently, holding it firmly. "And I by you, Jack." Together, they shared a moment of quiet promise, feeling sure and strong in their unity. Jack knew their journey was far from over, but he felt ready for whatever lay ahead. With Lyra and their people united, nothing seemed impossible. As they returned to their homes that night, Jack's heart was full of hope. Their hard work had brought their worlds together, and he knew they were ready to face the future. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but Jack and Lyra would face them side by side, united in friendship, trust, and strength. Jack woke early, sensing tension in the air. He quickly stepped out of his tent, noticing many people gathered near the command tent. Curious and concerned, he hurried over to find Commander Helen and Eldra standing together, deep and serious. Conversation? What's happening? Jack asked carefully, looking from Helen to Eldra. Helen turned toward Jack, her face serious. Our sensors detected something approaching from space. It's a large fleet, and we believe this is the danger the prophecy warned us about. Jack felt his heart race. What should we do? We must prepare quickly, Eldra said calmly. Our unity will be tested now more than ever. Jack immediately went to find Lyra. He saw her near the edge of the camp, talking urgently with other Solari. When she noticed Jack approaching, she turned to him, concern clear in her bright green eyes. You heard, she asked softly. Jack nodded firmly. We need everyone ready. Our people must stand together. Yes, Lyra agreed, her voice steady despite worry in her eyes. We trained for this, Jack. I believe in our unity. Together they quickly organized everyone. Humans and Solari moved swiftly, helping each other prepare defenses, organize shelters, and share supplies. Though nervous, both species worked smoothly, their previous weeks of teamwork evident now in how seamlessly they cooperated. Jack watched with pride as Solari elders guided humans to positions, and human leaders shared advanced technologies to strengthen defenses. He knew this unity was their strongest weapon. Hours passed quickly, filled with intense preparation. Soon, the sky darkened as dozens of alien ships appeared high above. Jack stood beside Lyra, watching silently as the ships slowly descended. The new aliens were large and intimidating, their spacecraft dark and menacing. A single ship landed first, opening slowly. An alien emerged, tall and powerful, his dark eyes studying the gathered humans and Solari with cold confidence. Who? Leads here? The alien demanded loudly. Commander Helen stepped forward bravely. I am Commander Helen, and this is Eldra, leader of the Solari. We speak together for all people on Viridia. The alien sneered slightly. Humans and Solari together? How unusual. Yet it matters little. We claim this planet now. Resist, and you will be destroyed. Helen stood firm, her voice strong. This planet belongs to our united peoples. We will defend it together. The alien laughed harshly. So be it. You choose your fate. He returned to his ship, which quickly lifted off again. The fleet above began preparing weapons, their intent clear. Positions. Helen called urgently. Jack and Lyra quickly joined their teams. Jack helped direct humans with defensive technology, while Lyra coordinated the Solari, who had special abilities to sense and confuse attackers. Moments later, beams of energy shot down from above, striking their protective shields with massive force. Explosions filled the air, shaking the ground beneath their feet. Jack's heart raced, but he stayed calm, focusing on keeping everyone coordinated. Hold steady, he shouted to his team, who bravely worked to maintain the shield generators. Lyra and her Solari team used their empathic powers, creating confusion among the attackers above. Their abilities made the enemy hesitate, giving humans precious moments to repair shields and counterattack. Jack watched Lyra from afar, impressed and proud of her courage and determination. Together, they coordinated attacks, using their connection to predict each other's moves perfectly. Their bond strengthened the entire group's unity. The battle continued fiercely. Explosions and bright lights filled the sky. Despite heavy fire, humans and Solari stayed strong, their combined strength proving effective against the enemy fleet. Slowly, they began pushing the attackers back. Keep fighting. Jack encouraged his team, determination clear in his voice. We are winning. Jack, Lyra called to him from nearby, her voice filled with hope and excitement. Jack smiled, feeling inspired by her bravery. We fight as one. Hours passed, exhausting but determined. Finally, the enemy fleet began retreating, pulling away from Viridia. Cheers erupted from humans and Solari alike as they realized victory was theirs. Jack immediately sought Lyra, finding her smiling with relief and happiness. We did it! She exclaimed, embracing him warmly. Jack held her tightly. Joy filling his heart. Our unity saved us. Yes, Lyra said softly, her eyes bright with emotion. Just as the prophecy said. As the celebrations quieted, Commander Helen and Eldra addressed everyone together, gratitude clear in their expressions. Today we prove unity is our greatest strength, Helen declared proudly. Eldra nodded warmly. Humans and Solari stood. As one, let us never forget this day. Jack felt deep pride, knowing their unity had truly saved them. As he stood beside Lyra, he knew their bond was stronger than ever, forged by trust, courage, and shared purpose. That evening, after everyone had rested, Jack and Lyra walked together beneath the quiet stars. Viridia seemed peaceful again, beautiful under the gentle night sky. It's hard to believe the battle happened just hours ago, Jack said softly, looking around thoughtfully. Unity makes quick changes, Lyra replied gently. We faced the greatest test, Jack. Our friendship made it possible. Jack smiled warmly at her words. We proved the prophecy right. Our unity protected us. Lyra nodded, meeting his gaze deeply. I never doubted you, Jack. And I never doubted you, Jack said softly. Our connection feels special. It is, Lyra said gently, her eyes warm. You are my dearest friend. And you are mine, Jack replied sincerely. Feeling warmth and gratitude, they sat quietly beneath the stars, enjoying the peaceful moment together. The battle had brought new clarity, showing them the depth of their bond. Jack felt certain, now that unity between humans and Solari was not only possible but essential. We have built something amazing. Lyra, Jack finally said softly. Yes, she agreed gently. And it is only the beginning. Jack looked at her curiously. What do you mean? Lyra smiled warmly. Our unity showed everyone a new path. Humans and Solari can continue growing closer, stronger. We can learn from each other and build a better future. Jack felt excitement at her words. I want that future, Lyra. Together, we can make it happen. Then we will, Lyra replied warmly, her bright eyes filled with determination. Jack and Lyra stayed quiet then, simply enjoying the peaceful night together. Jack knew challenges still awaited them, but he felt confident and strong. Their unity had faced the greatest test and succeeded. Now, nothing seemed impossible. Together, beneath the gentle stars of Iridia, Jack and Lyra shared a quiet promise. They will continue building unity, protecting their worlds, and forging a strong and hopeful future side by side. Jack felt deeply grateful for Lyra's friendship, knowing it had changed his life forever. He looked forward to the journey ahead, sure that their unity would guide them through anything they faced. Jack woke up early, still feeling excited from the victory they had achieved. He stepped outside, breathing deeply, feeling thankful that Viridia was safe again. Everyone seemed happier, moving around the camp with smiles and laughter. As he walked through the camp, Jack saw Lyra talking with other Solari. When she noticed him, she excused herself and came toward him, her eyes bright with happiness. Good morning, Jack, she greeted softly. Did you rest well? Yes, better than ever, Jack said warmly. What about you? Lyra smiled gently. I slept peacefully, knowing we are safe. Together, they walked toward the command center, knowing Commander Helen and Eldra wanted to discuss the future. Inside, they found both leaders already speaking seriously. Jack, Lyra, come join us, Commander Helen said warmly. Jack and Lyra sat together, eager to hear what came next. We've seen the power of unity, Eldra began calmly. But our work is not done. Now we must build something lasting. Humans and Solari should work even closer together. Commander Helen nodded firmly. We want to start joint projects. We can share knowledge, technology, and resources. Our unity should become permanent. Jack felt excitement rise in his heart. What can Lyra and I do to help? You two have proven yourselves, Eldra said warmly. We trust you to lead these new efforts. Together, you can show our people the way. Jack and Lyra agreed. Immediately, they spent the morning planning with Eldra and Helen, excitedly discussing projects that could benefit everyone. By the afternoon, clear plans were in place. The next day, Jack and Lyra began traveling to human and Solari villages. They spoke with groups, explaining the joint projects and how everyone could help. Everywhere they went, people listened eagerly. Inspired by their message in one village, an older Solari named Corin stepped forward, his voice thoughtful. Can humans truly understand us enough to work closely every day? Jack smiled gently, understanding Corin's concern. We learned that unity makes us stronger. Humans and Solari have differences, yes, but we have even more in common. We care deeply, protect each other, and want peaceful futures. Together, we can achieve anything. Lyra nodded softly. Jack saved my life, not thinking about differences, but because of friendship. That is the kind of bond we can all build. Corin looked satisfied, nodding slowly. Then I support your plans. We should learn from each other. Everywhere Jack and Lyra traveled, people agreed. Soon, joint teams began working together, building new structures, sharing knowledge, and growing food side by side. Humans learned from Solari's deep understanding of nature, and Solari benefited from human technology and ideas. Days turned into weeks, and Viridia began to change. New buildings rose, beautifully blending human designs with Solari nature-inspired ideas. Fields of healthy crops stretched far, tended by teams who worked with joyful cooperation. Jack and Lyra visited these projects often, encouraging workers and solving any issues that arose. Their presence inspired everyone, reinforcing the bond between humans and Solari. One afternoon, Jack and Lyra sat by their favorite pond, enjoying a quiet moment together. Jack felt proud of what they had accomplished. Viridia is becoming something wonderful, Jack said softly, looking around happily. Yes, Lyra agreed warmly. We built this together, Jack. Our friendship helped unite two worlds. Jack looked deeply into her eyes, feeling warmth and gratitude. I never imagined my life could change so much, Lyra. Meeting you made everything better. Lyra smiled gently, her eyes soft with emotion. You have made my life better too, Jack. Our unity showed everyone the power of friendship. They sat quietly, enjoying the peaceful sounds of nature around them. The sun began setting slowly, casting gentle colors across the sky. Jack took Lyra's hand softly, feeling connected and peaceful. Do you think other worlds could learn from our unity? Jack wondered aloud, his voice thoughtful. Yes, I believe so, Lyra replied softly. Our story could inspire many others to find friendship and peace. Jack nodded, liking that idea. Maybe someday we can share what we've learned with others. Lyra smiled warmly. Together we can do anything. Days continued passing quickly, filled with hard work and growing unity. Jack and Lyra often visited villages, amazed at how deeply their people had bonded. Humans and Solari now treated each other like family, helping without hesitation and supporting each other completely. One evening, Eldra and Commander Helen called another meeting. Jack and Lyra entered curiously, wondering what came next. We have news, Helen announced warmly. Word of our unity spread far. Other worlds have asked about our success. They want us to help them build unity too. Eldra smiled gently. Jack, Lyra, we want you to lead this effort. Show these worlds what you taught us. Jack felt amazed and honored. We would be happy to help. Unity is something everyone deserves. Yes, Lyra agreed gently. We want to share what we learned, helping others find peace. Soon, Jack and Lyra began traveling to other worlds, spreading their message of unity. Everywhere they went, they spoke clearly and simply, helping others see how friendship could unite even the most different peoples. Each journey deepened their bond, making their connection stronger. They faced challenges, but together, they overcame them all. Each success inspired more worlds, spreading unity further across the galaxy. Returning to Viridia one evening, Jack and Lyra felt deeply satisfied. Their home world flourished, a shining example of cooperation and friendship. "Look what we built," Jack said softly, watching the peaceful villages below. Lyra took his hand gently, smiling warmly. "Our friendship made this possible, Jack. I am grateful every day." Jack smiled gently, feeling deeply happy. "Me too, Lyra. I never dreamed unity could change so much." Together, they walked slowly through peaceful streets, greeted warmly by smiling faces everywhere. Humans and Solari moved together smoothly, unified and joyful. As they reached the pond where their friendship had first grown strong, Jack felt deeply thankful. Sitting beside Lyra quietly, he knew unity had changed everything. Their bond had become an example for countless others, proving friendship was the strongest force. Jack knew their journey would continue, filled with new adventures and challenges. But he felt confident, knowing Lyra would always be by his side. Together, they had created something powerful and beautiful, changing their worlds forever. In the quiet evening, Jack and Lyra shared a silent promise. They would continue spreading unity, protecting peace, and strengthening bonds between all peoples. Their friendship had begun simply, but it had grown into something truly amazing, powerful enough to unite worlds.